Well, when they say a person is depressed, is that generally it's understood that the person has no more desire, doesn't have energy. They have dark thoughts, gloominess, no inspiration. That's a subjective experience, and I'm never going to deny that, and I lived it myself. They call that depression, and they've taken that tag and made it into something. But the person is living a form of extreme fatigue, mental fatigue, emotional fatigue, let's say spiritual fatigue, physical, physiological, hormonal fatigue. And I think I've done a good job at putting it into context. Now they take that experience, categorize it, call that a form of depression, then they break down depression into boxes, that kind of depression, supreme depression, da 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 da, and they make the thing depression now a thing. But it's totally removed from the human being, the human experience, what people are living. It's totally removed from reality, because that's what modern science does. It doesn't care about people. It doesn't care about our condition. It doesn't care about nature. It doesn't care about dharma, meaning the natural way, how things actually are. In fact, it wants to remove the fact that there's a reality outside of its so-called diagnostic, which is based on, they don't even know how to define health. So anyway, so I'm not saying that the person is not experiencing a thing that is called depression. I've lived it. Everybody has. When I go intensely at work and I do a lot of things intensely and I have to overcompensate for whatever reason, and I can ride it and I'm good and I'm efficient and I know myself and I take care of myself and I know how to eat and I'm like, I'm good. Well, I know that once that phase ends, I'm going to swing to the other side. I'm not going to be depressed, but I'm not going to have the same level of drive, the same level of, I'm going to want more time on my own. I'm not going to want to do as much. I'm going to want to read more and fill myself with things that are more internal. But when I was much younger and I would go much more off out of balance in my go, yang energy, well, then I would go and I need to smoke pot and I need to depress my system. And when I would smoke pot, which helped me to depress my system because I didn't know how to just really relax naturally, or I didn't know how to allow myself to be in such a state. And then my thoughts would be like, you can't, you need to do more, I suck, I'm not good enough, I should do more. You can't let go of the mindset that you're shit. It doesn't disappear. When you're here, no matter how good you are, you're always shit. And when you're here, no matter how shit you are, you're not shit enough. So there's a mindset that says, I'm insufficient. And my insufficiency is a threat to my existence and is a threat to my survival. We can say that this is the basic premise of mental psychosis. You suck, I'm shit, I'm not worth anything, I have no value. Now put this in a context, now you gotta survive. What are you gonna do if I'm shit? How can I stand? Something is gonna have to hold me up, won't it? What's gonna hold me up? A thought process that says I'm better than you. Or I'm gonna show you. A form of heat, an anger, some kind of mindset that says this person wants to take what's mine, I gotta fight back now. Some kind of mind state which is out of balance is gonna take possession of you, heat you up, tense you up to make you do something. But what was at the core? I'm shit. I've studied Mike Tyson, like a lot of you guys who listening to this. Well, if you know the story of Mike Tyson, he was never shy about saying, I don't do a good impersonation of Mike, but I'm shit. That's what he says. And when I go into the ring, and he means it. Like when he says it casually today. He's like, I'm shit, and this person is going to take away everything I got, and I'm going to fucking kill him, because if I don't, he's going to take... And you know that he's believing it. It's his truth. And in a way, his truth wasn't a lie, because in the world and the arena that he lived in, that's exactly how it worked. So there's a form of coherence, but he's in the world that he operated in is totally out of balance and is literally insane. Right? So today we have a Mike Tyson who hotboxing with Mike. In other words, if you don't know what a hotbox is, I don't know where you live, but hotbox is you're in a box and smoking weed. And now Mike Tyson has become a character or proponent, whether conscious or not, of marijuana. And I've smoked a lot of weed in my life, and a lot of you have. It's like, well, weed depresses you. That's kind of what it does. So if it depresses you, it's trying to compensate for a state of mind that's overinflating you. Literally, it's a state of mind that overinflates you. So the weed kind of balances it out. Kind of, sort of. Now, some people enjoy the weed because they like the depressive state. So what I'm trying to say is that people are experiencing what is called depression. And I've done my best to explain how the mind works and how it affects you and your physiology. And well, of course, you swing on one side, but people don't give that, unless you're like manic, like insane, which is a mental diagnostic disease. But the world lives off of that. They don't always diagnose it, but your average person who's a successful person is manic. That's why people need to drink. What's alcohol if it's not a depressor? So when I was a kid, you'd see the adults and you're like, well, why do adults drink alcohol, right? I didn't understand as a kid. It doesn't smell good, it tastes like shit, it burns, it's poison. You know it's poison instantly. So as a kid, I remember very, very clearly, I'm like, I don't understand. I look at my mom and I say, why you drink this? And they were not big drinkers, but people come and the adults drink. So I wondered this. And as I grew up and I become an adult and I saw my own friends become adults with the pressure of adult life, well, they want to drink because the drink depresses their system and helps them to relax. What kind of world do we live in where you always have pressure and the pressure never leaves and never ends unless you take a substance that gives you the impression that you're depressurized for a few hours until the madness comes back and the pressure comes, but today is a new day and there's more pressure. So, this is the world we live in and nobody really wants to address it, and the issue is, it's a big one because we live in an insane world. So how do we solve the problem? This is a huge conversation to be had. I hope we're going to have it. But that's the reality. And your average person, no matter, this is deep. I don't have time for this, man. I don't have time for this. I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. And if I don't do this, I'm worthless. And if I'm worthless, I'm not going to have money. I'm not going to have a car. I'm not going to have the girl I want, or she's going to leave me, or my kids are going to think this of me. And then what are the people going to say? And what am I, like, pressure. So the very foundation of disease, if we can call it, any disease, in my humble opinion, is I'm worthless. Well, what gives you that impression? Where does that come from? Well, if you've watched the rest of my videos, this is what we talk about. It's like, well, you unplug from what's got real value. A human being is nothing but a vehicle, is an instrument. And something infuses you with value, which is life. What's your value? It's life passing through you. When that life doesn't pass through you, you're dead. But the society, modern science and modern medicine doesn't speak of life. Life doesn't exist in their paradigm. They don't study life. They don't even acknowledge its existence. That's odd. It's the foundation. The foundation of life is life itself, but it's not there. So everybody is disconnected from life, obviously, which means they don't have anything that gives them direction or meaning or value, because life gives you literally value. It's a currency. It's the riches of existence passing through you. So this is deep for people. I'm like, this is the basic understanding anyone and everyone needs in order to understand anything and everything, especially health. Especially health. No, we're not talking about this because this is deep and everybody has their beliefs. I'm like, well, this is not a question of belief. This is basic. Everybody can understand this. If you're not anal, this is obvious. I'm like, are you kidding me? There's nothing to negotiate. This is self-evident truth, needs no proof. This is so obvious, like we know the sun's going to come up tomorrow. No. Silence. Let's not talk about this because this makes us uncomfortable. It says that there's something greater than ourselves that rules, and we're not comfortable with that. And that we are, dare I say, the subjects or the vehicles or tools or whatever word you want to say of that greater power And that our job is not to do whatever the fuck we want, but to tune ourselves to the will of that current. No! Impossible! I am God. Great. So that's why you suffer and you're miserable. Because no matter how big you are, you're never big enough. And no matter how much you have, you never have enough because it doesn't really fulfill you or touch anything in you. And it's just a question of time. And you know it, that the pendulum will swing to the other side. So no matter how high you go, you know you can come down. You know. And even if you somehow manage to hold it up all your life, you're going to die. And it's going to be the great collapse. The great reset, motherfucker. But you see, people don't want to talk about this. Rare are the people who want to talk about this because, what can I say? I don't want to judge. I'm just saying, this is a simple observation. People are on drugs. So, sobering up is a rude awakening at first. And your average person doesn't want to wake up to the basics and wants to just keep on going and keep on trucking. So they do what they got to do. And of course, because there's such a demand, so innovation comes in the field of how to better hack the body, how to find new tools, how to extract from a plant more something to get you high, more. And that now, of course, because Americana, which is the modernity, has taken over, well, this is now health. It's whatever keeps you going because that's the norm. That's what health is about. Never stop. Never stop what? Pursuing your dreams. And what's your dream? To become somebody. Because you ain't nobody. So your dream is to become somebody. Why? So that you can have value. Because you have no value. It's in the language. Just people don't stop to break it down. I'm gonna become somebody. Why do you need to become somebody? Because you're not anyone. So I have no value and I become somebody, then I'm gonna have value. I'm gonna have name, fame, and glory. I'm gonna have money. The world will validate that I'm somebody special, that I'm valuable, in other words. I'm gonna get some pussy, which is gonna prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that I'm the man. And of course now it makes me superior to you because you're not as valuable as me. And the modern way of health is, well, how do I get to that now? Because this is the basic paradigm of modernity. So health or health systems or health modalities are the tools that help us to go towards our modern ideals of what is true, what's life about. Well, that's what life is about. Now they're going to change the language and make it more polished and, more social. Whatever the fuck you want. It's a lot of shit. The point is, you're God. That's it. I just told it to you like this, and it's written in the Bible in the first book. You God. That's what it is. You God, like the guy in the Wu-Tang. You God. You God. That's the point. And being, of course, that you God, you need masses to remind you and validate and show you and prove to you that you God. Because, so that means there's people who are not God, they worship you and you God. Great. This is what the serpent told you in the Bible. You should have read the Bible and understood this. Is pretty basic. It's pretty easy to understand. So I don't want to talk about religion. This has got nothing to do with religion. It's got to do with an understanding of how life works, how the body works, how the mind works, how being out of tune becomes a fad, and how you can take a person out of tune and stabilize them in a place of out of tuneness. And due to technology and due to all kinds of modern methods, we can suppress symptom expression. A symptom is there to tell you something is out of balance. So we remove the expression of symptoms for as long as possible to give you the illusion that you God. That means that you unstoppable. And that your hypercompensation, you're compensating for what? That the fact that you feel that you're worthless. So you're compensating so that your hypercompensation can continue and never stop. Puff Daddy style, can't stop, won't stop. So that you can reach the height of success, name, fame, and glory, height of what God knows, but we understand, everybody understands what I mean. The summit. Summit of what? The fucking pyramid. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You reach the summit. And this is the world we live in. Now, by me telling you or having a conversation with you about how nature truly operates doesn't dismiss that this is how the world operates. I'm not trying to dismiss that. I'm not trying to say this is bad. I'm not saying anything is good or bad. I'm talking to you like a doctor. I'm telling you this is how things work. We need to understand how things work to understand what's happening to us and then find a balance that suits us according to what we're ready to sacrifice or not. Right? But intelligence cannot be left at the door. And sometimes it irritates me because, people are dishonest. Motherfuckers want to sell you shit. They don't give a fuck about you. That's all they want to do is want to sell you shit to get money so that they can be you God. That's it. At the end of the day, science is, health is a byproduct of a genuine life. And I care about life. I'm a devotee of life, whatever that means for you. I care about people, and I feel that we should at least have intelligent, honest, genuine conversations, and everybody's free to do whatever the hell they want. So this is what I sincerely hope I'm bringing to the table, or to the arena, and that we at least have a genuine talk. Do whatever you want, but I feel that we should have an honest talk. And you see, I'm not using complicated language. I'm not talking about molecules. Listen, I studied in all this shit, so if I wanted to be a fucking geek, I could be a geek. I'm sparing you this because the human experience is basic. Health is basic. It doesn't require a PhD in fucking organic chemistry to understand. Your fucking dog can know if your dog wasn't living with you, he'd be healthy. You understand? If your cat wasn't hanging around fucking humans, it'd be healthy. So clearly the animal's telling you, it's like, I don't need to be intelligent to be healthy. But clearly the animal knows something about life that you don't, which means it does not try to be something that's not. You see what I'm trying to say? It is what it is. It's at peace with what it is, and then it tries to optimize its experience. Because it hangs out with you, then it eats your shit, so then it becomes sick. But if it wasn't for the fact that you're around, it lives a nice and peaceful life doing what it's got to do. So just by observing things, you understand this is not complicated, but it's become complicated. And modernity does what? Let's take a broccoli and break it down and make it into something so complicated so that we can make it seem that this is the solution to end all. If you could only get the omega 18.5 that we've just discovered, that is only found in this rare piece of shit that is in the middle of the ocean that was shot 2 million years ago by this thing that doesn't exist anymore. We found the solution. This is the cause. It is scientifically proven, of course, that when you get omega 18.5 and you take it, it's over. Your level of energy will be to the roof and you will be the man you know you can be. And nothing is going to stop you. And finally, you will show the world your true face and achieve the greatness you deserve. And it's only $69.95. Buy fucking now. Don't miss out. We only have 18 bottles. And I need you to have your bottle because I want you to be the man that you are. I don't want to see you waste one more day not being the man that you are. I want you to bathe in that pussy. $69.95. There's only 12 bottles left. Act now. And if you click the button, buy now, I'm giving you 50% off and 2 bottles. Do it now. Click. We have only 6 left. 4. Oh my God. Don't miss your chance. Omega 18.5. Your path to success. I got a better slogan, Omega 18.5. No, I lost it. I got it. Omega 18.5. Nothing can stop you. I like it.